go along, look for anything that needs touch up, like that. And see, I found these little holes with the flashlight, and you just kind of proceed like that. I'm gonna get working on that hole. It's a bigger hole, so in that case, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna scrape off these burrs, all this stuff, because you want anything that sticks out. You can even sand that with a sanding block to get rid of that. And then I will actually use the knife on something this size, just because of how big it is. And you just wanna, you start with a good amount of pressure to put it on, and then with a light amount of pressure, you just lightly scrape it off, try to get it as flat as possible. And then that, with how recessed it is, I think I'm gonna add more, but what I might do is I might let that dry and then add a second coat later, just to give it some time to thicken up underneath. Now, I've got all this excess around there, and I don't like that. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take my rag, and I'm just gonna wipe it up. And as you can see where it's bumped out versus the actual wall. That is what you get when you spackle any hole with a spackling knife. And I could continue to scrape that down, but in this case, I will let it dry. I'm gonna sand it down and finish it later. And that's pretty much it. You just use a flashlight to find your holes, spackling compound, and either your spackling knife or your finger to fill holes. If you've got holes like this that you don't want to just put spackle in, because then, you know, you're going to put some in there and it's going to be recessed. And you got to put multiple layers just to get it out to the level. You can fill that with anything, a dowel, some toothpicks. I'd put some spackling in there first, then I'd shove some toothpicks in there, snap them off or something, just to fill the hole so that it's not hollow, because the spackling compound isn't that strong. It's not that tough. And so I'm gonna put some in there now, and then when I come back around, it still won't be dry. I'm gonna probably put a dowel in there just to fill the hole. And that's pretty much it. You just want the whole wall to be completely uniform. You wanna get rid of anything that sticks out, you know, anything that's bumped out, anything that's a burr, you can scrape off, or you can bang it in with the back of your spackle knife, or use a hammer, and then eventually you'll let it dry and you'll move on to the texturing, which I'll probably record that too later. Either way, thanks for looking at this. Hopefully this helps somebody. You have a great day.